it seems to me that whether or not he'd ever sent a nasty tweet or not, or whether or not he had enough of a background in education work, that many on the left, including yourself and your colleagues, would have objected to his appointment purely on the fact that he's a Tory.
I don't know. I didn't know he was a Tory. I didn't know about him before he got this position. I've made aware of him via his tweets, and you dismiss the tweets. Oh, so he sent a couple of tweets. He's had to delete almost...
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said they were obscene.
Okay, sorry, they were obscene, but almost 50,000. He had to delete almost 50,000.
No, he went back and deleted all the tweets up to a certain date in one big cache of tweets. He didn't delete 50,000 offensive tweets. You know that.
No, I don't know that, actually.
Well, I've just told you.
I know that he's deleted almost 50,000.
Yeah, he did them by date.
Those are a lot of tweets to delete. I've seen some of the tweets that he's deleted. I've read his article. Is he suitable? Is he suitable? It is a very serious question. To talk about ramps in schools for disabled people as political correctness gone mad, when part of the role of this job is to ensure that higher education is open and accessible to everyone, to include diversity in education. To write an article about how you're actively going out to sexually abuse women, in particular lesbians, you have to ask yourself, is this man suitable for the role?
Right.
Okay, you know, the job's for the boys.
But this is one of the things. Look, he sent some pretty obscene, sort of very sexual tweets. Largely, they seem to be commenting pretty much permanently on women's breasts. The most recent one of those was 2012. Now, I'm not saying that makes it okay, and I'm not saying that was when he was a teenager. He was already a grown man. Frankly, if he was my husband, he'd had a good old slapping by now, no question at all. However, when you talk about some of the things he said, a lot of that stuff is taken completely out of context. This is a man who has set up a free school. He wanted it to be a comprehensive grammar, effectively. He wanted a school he wanted to send his own kids to. He didn't go off and go send his kids to a private school. He went and set up a free school where it's a fifth of the kids or something, or more than a fifth, I think a third of the kids, are on free school meals. He's gone and put his money where his mouth is. In what way does someone who has set up a school, who is on a trust that runs free schools, in what way does he not have a good enough background in education to promote social mobility, a key issue in education these days? Why do you think that he's not fit for that? Because he sent some tweets about women's breasts and a few drunken, jokey tweets, which you don't for a minute think meant that he was going out to sexually harass women. You don't think that. I don't think that. You know it.
How do you know he was drunk? Was you with him?
No, I wasn't with him. I've actually only met him on a couple of occasions, actually.
How do you know he was drunk when he sent those
I
tweets?
think as a general rule, when people send tweets about midnight, 1 in the morning, they often are drunk, in my experience.
But one of the tweets he sent was at about 12 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon.
Oh, OK, well, he probably wasn't drunk for that one.
I know that because he was sent it about a woman while he was watching Prime Minister's Questions.
That was about a woman with a large cleavage behind the Prime Minister. And the terrible thing is, Dawn, I remember that occasion because I remember virtually every man I knew who worked in politics was making pretty much the same comments. Most of them weren't stupid enough to put it online.
Yeah, but it doesn't make it right.
Didn't say it made it right.
None of what you've said has made Toby Young suitable by any measure. None of what you've said has made him suitable for this position. Great, he set up some free schools. I don't know that much about the free schools or how successful they've been or how long he stuck it out for.
No, he's still involved with them. He's been involved with free schools for 5 years.
I can't tell you all of that. But what I want to
Do you not? Wait a minute, Dawn. You've got an opinion whether someone should be or should not be one of the university regulators board members, and you're saying he's unfit for this because you've seen a few of his tweets, but you haven't you haven't bothered to take the time to see what the argument is for why he should be on that. Don't you think that's a bit of a strange opinion to have?
No, not at all, because I read very carefully what he wrote in his defence.
Mm-hmm.
I read very carefully what he wrote in his defence. He didn't apologise for anything that he wrote. He just put it down to it being silly. He didn't apologise for it. He also said the DfE have exaggerated my qualifications. So that raises questions for me in regards to the process. Because let me tell you why it's so important for me. I want to make sure the process is right, because I know that there are hundreds of people out there, many of whom are in my constituency, who are extremely passionate about higher education, accessibility, and having a process that's open for everybody to engage in education. I mean, I want to see BSL users in higher universities, so people who are deaf can be able to go through the system. So I want to make sure that it's open. So this is why it's important for me to make sure the person who appointed to this paid position, who have a budget of over £1 billion a year, is suitable. Right now, the arguments have not shown that they were suitable. Even the Prime Minister herself said she's not impressed.
Yeah.
But it sounds as though she's saying, I can't do much about it because. Why can't you do much about it? You're the Prime Minister. If he's not suitable, you don't say, well, if he does it again. No, if he's not suitable, he shouldn't have got the job in the first place.
But then how was he allowed to set up schools? This is what I find is very strange. You have actually, in the last few days, compared Toby Young with John Warboys, the convicted serial rapist. A man who just sent some, pretty nice. I've sent a text to Toby myself saying, how absolutely appalling those tweets were. As I said, but I'm not defending the tweets at all. I'm just saying he never made any secret of the man he was. But you've compared him to a rapist. But you're also quite happy to sit in the House of Commons on the benches alongside people like Naz Shah sending out absolutely outrageous anti-Semitic tweets. You're also supported a Labour Party leader in the form of Jeremy Corbyn, who is quite happy to share platforms with Hamas, the IRA, to support the Iranian regime, to support the Russian government. And it does seem to me to be somewhat two-faced to say that somebody who's fit to be Prime Minister who shares platforms with known murderers and killers and anti-Semites, but you don't like a bloke to be one of a 15-member board to oversee the regulation of universities because he wants on a number of occasions commented on women's breasts on Twitter. Do you not think that that's a little bit rich?
Can I correct you on something? I didn't compare him to Warboys. What I said is that I'm part of a committee, a working committee, something the Prime Minister has said quite publicly that she is in favour of and wanted to set up to ensure that we change the environment and the culture in Parliament to eradicate sexual harassment and sexual violence against women. Now, in order to do that, we have to call things out when we see them. Yeah. And the low-level stuff contributes to the higher level stuff. So we don't say that this is wrong and you cannot be promoted because you've done something that's wrong, that diminishes the role of women in society, that sexually harasses them or sexually abuses them, then we are contributing to the problem. And so that is where the comparison line appeals to. So this is why I am passionate. This is why I am passionate about this situation, because I want to make it clear. And listen, Boris said that he's got this caustic wit. Now, if that's the case, and that's part of the criteria that you need in order to hold a government position, this government's position, then I need to know. So that anybody that comes to me to say, Dawn, what do I need to do to be part of these crankos, to help them, to help higher education or to do something else, I need to say to them, you need a bit of caustic wit, mate. That's what's going to get you in. I need to know. That's my job. And I'm doing my job well.
So are you guys going to rest? You've criticised the appointment. Are you guys going to rest until Toby Young is out of that post?
Well, if the process was followed correctly, if the DfE hasn't exaggerated his qualifications, for their own particular purpose, if he's shown to be suitable for the position, if he was promoted to this role on merit and not privilege, then fine. If any of those things is not correct, then we have an issue and we have a problem and it needs to be sorted.
Okay, thank you for joining us, Dawn Butler.